Welcome to HRCPA. I'm Eddie, and today I'm going to be bringing you an introduction into balance sheets. By the end of this video, you would know exactly what a balance sheet is, what it does for a company, and why companies use them. So without any further ado, let's jump right into it. To properly understand financial statements, it's important to know why their use is enforced. After the market crash of 1929, the Securities Act of 1933 and Securities Exchange Act of 1934 were implemented and then caused the creation of the SEC. The SEC stands for the Securities and Exchange Commission. Since then, the SEC has required that all publicly traded companies report financial information, including financial statements each quarter. They did this so that investors and creditors can have a uniform understanding of these companies' financial health. Now, let's talk about the financial information that goes into creating financial statements. Financial information can be generated from different forms, including news releases, for example, the stock exchange, filings with the Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC, and annual reports to shareholders. Financial statements. Financial statements comprise of the balance sheet, the income statement, the statement of cash flow, the statement of shareholders' equity, and the disclosures, otherwise known as the footnotes or the notes for short. The balance sheet. We start off with the balance sheet because it also represents all the elements of the accounting equation, the most important part of accounting. The accounting equation is assets equal liability plus stockholders' equity. And just as I said earlier, this also represents the items that make up the balance sheet. So if you were ever asked on an exam, what is the balance sheet? The balance sheet comprises of assets, liabilities, and stockholders' equity. This simply means that on your books, or that of the company you're working for, all the assets should always equal all the liabilities plus stockholders' equity. This rule to calculating and generating the balance sheet should apply across the board. The balance sheet is always labeled as a snapshot in time. The date at the top of the balance sheet tells you when the snapshot was taken, which is generally the end of the year or the end of the fiscal year, as you will hear a lot. Assets come in different formats. Some of the very common examples of assets you find on your balance sheet include cash, accounts receivables, and inventory. Similarly to assets, liabilities come in different formats. Some common examples of liabilities you find on your balance sheet include accounts payable, which is any debt that is owed to a third party and is to be paid within a year. Note that in accounting, anything to be paid over a year is considered a long-term debt. Other examples of liabilities you'll find is also wages payable, payroll, dividends payable, and of course the long-term debt. Shareholders' equity, on the other hand, is made up of dividends and retained earnings, with retained earnings being the amount of net earnings that were not paid to shareholders as dividends. For those starting out in accounting, an easy way to identify the most common liabilities is to look out for any items labeled payable. I'll be making a video on journal entries where I'll be showing you how to identify whether an event requires a journal entry and what type of entries are to be recorded once identified. So stay tuned and be on the lookout for future videos. If you found this video helpful in breaking down certain roadblocks you had in your head regarding balance sheet, then definitely share this video with some of your friends and anyone who you think might benefit from the information in this video. Also, remember to give this video a like, as it helps us build that momentum and get the videos out there to everyone. Follow us on Instagram and on Twitter at HR_CPA. We also provide basic bookkeeping and accounting services. So if you find yourself in need of data entry, journal entries, bank reconciliations, and other CFO tasks within your company, please feel free to reach us at our email. I'll leave the link in the description below. And remember, we also offer very competitive prices while maintaining the high quality of work. Until next time, I'm Eddie with HRCPA. Take care.